proud, hardworking American patriots, which is what you are. As you all saw 3 months ago, we had a monumental victory. We had a beautiful victory 3 months ago, and then a couple of nights ago, we had an even better victory. We took her on, Comrade Kamala Harris. We took her on, and we did really well. Every poll had us up like 90, 92, 87. We actually had one 92-6, which sounds about right because now today Rasmussen just came up and we were 6 points up, so it's pretty good. We dismantled her terrible record. We exposed her radical liberal agenda, and we laid out our plans to quite simply make America great again. Meanwhile, Comrade Kamala Harris, showed up spewing lies and meaningless platitudes with no plans, no policies, and no solutions whatsoever. She doesn't have a clue. The only thing she had was a lot of people trying to push her over the line. It's not happening. We're not going to let this country be destroyed. It's already in deep trouble. She offered American voters nothing but falsehoods and hoaxes while our country is being destroyed. Our country is being destroyed. Do we know that? Not going to be for long. Honestly, November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. I really believe that. And today she had a terrible interview. Did you see the interview she had today? She can't talk. She can't talk. She can't talk without maybe getting the answers. What's the story with that? Did she get the questions? Do you think? So I hear she got the questions, and I also heard she had something in the ear, a little something in the ear. No, Kamala, do this. Say it this way, Kamala. Okay, be quiet. Too many people watching. She had a terrible interview today with the Philadelphia TV station, a big word salad. She just kept talking. She had no idea what the hell she was saying. She reminded me of Sleepy Joe Biden. But people said that I was angry during the debate. And I said, why wouldn't I be angry? Of course I'm angry. We got 21 million people that came into our country, invading our communities, invading our cities and our towns, and destroying our country. I'm angry about Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora, Colorado. And I'm angry about illegal Haitian migrants taking over Springfield, Ohio. You see that mess, don't you? And the Colorado governor is petrified. He's scared. He doesn't know what to do. The Venezuelans are attacking my state, he said. The Venezuelans have big AK-47 Supremes. There's a Supreme. Where the hell did they get these guns? Our soldiers can't get these guns. They're taking over our country from within. I mean, can you believe it? Then we got Kamala. I'm angry about young American girls being raped and murdered by savage criminal aliens that come into our country very easily but very illegally. I'm angry about rampant inflation destroying our middle class, and the American people are damn angry too. We're all angry. Country's being wrecked. That's why 53 days from now, we're going to tell Harris that we've had enough. Our country can't take it anymore. Comrade Kamala Harris, you're fired. You're fired. Get out. Get out. Get the hell out of here. She shouldn't be there anyway. She got no votes. She's a threat to democracy, right? That's what they say. They always say, Donald Trump, you know, it's a soundbite for them. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. No, she's a threat. Think of it. Joe Biden had 14 million votes. She had none. She was the first one that failed. Out of all the candidates, I think they had 22. She didn't even make it to Iowa, the first stop. Didn't even make it during the nominating process. She didn't make it to Iowa. She had no votes, and she got it. But we're running against her. I think, based on what I'm seeing in the polls, I think she could be just as easy as him. He was down so much. He was down 21 points. And they went to him and they said, get out of here, Sleepy Joe, you're going to lose. I'm not going to get out. I won't do it. He held on for about a day. Did you see the hat, though, the other day? Right? He walked into a great, beautiful area in Pennsylvania. I was there because that's where one of the planes came down. You know that? It was incredible. The reverence that we had for that area. It's horrible. But the bravery of those people on that plane. But the fire station, which was so brave also, and they did a fantastic job. And the place was stacked with every family member. And Joe went in first, and nobody, they didn't even, you could hear a pin drop. And then one of the firemen said, put the hat on. Put it on. And I thought he was a little bit rough, Cash. I thought he was a little bit rough, actually. You know, we're talking to the President of the United States, right? But this fireman, rough guy, obviously a Trump fan. So they throw him a Make America Great. Look at him. Look at all of them. Oh, I love your hat. Stand up. Stand up. Look at him. No, stand up right there. Turn around. Show the cameras. I love that. I love that hat. You're going to have to give me that hat later. I'm going to have to make it, okay? Would you do that? You're so cute. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. That could be the end of my political career. We're not allowed to say that anymore. That's a great hat. But they looked at Joe. They said, put on the hat. No, I can't do that. It wouldn't look good. You know, it says Trump on it. No, it doesn't say that. It says Make America Great Again. And then the guy goes, put it on. Put it on. Now. Okay. And he puts it on, and the rest is history. It was so bad. Right? The rest is history. Sleepy Joe. What's better, Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? Okay, ready? A free poll. You know, it's Friday night. We have a lot of time, right? Do you think later on, should I do the snake or not? People love the snake. It's so appropriate. Okay, you ready? A quick poll. Ready? I'll go Sleepy Joe, and then I'll go Crooked Joe. Ready? Who likes Sleepy Joe? Who likes Crooked Joe? All right, thank you. I just saved $200,000 with these phony pollsters. They don't even go out and check. They just give you a number. Sir, that'll cost $250,000 to interview 200 people. Oh, thank you. You just did it for nothing. And they don't interview the 200, but they just put down a number. Let's see, Trump is ahead 50 to 46. No, that was something. And then, by the way, 2 hours later, I walked into the same firehouse. The place went crazy. Right? The most preposterous part of Kamala, and how do you like the name Comrade Kamala Harris? You know why? It indicates that she is a communist. comrade, because she is. Do you know that she's further left than crazy Bernie Sanders? Can you believe it? He's crazy, that guy. He's almost as crazy as Nancy Pelosi. She's nuts. The most preposterous part of Kamala's debate performance was when she tried to gaslight the public into believing she never supported the radical left policies that she has championed for her entire career. Do you mind if we roll a tape, please? Let's roll a tape. Go ahead.
Gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States, and in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as Vice President, private health care options.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care, and you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Everything is a lie, including the fact that she never worked at McDonald's. She lied about that, too. I told that to one of the fake news people 2 days ago. I was doing a news conference, and the fake news was there. I said, you people all said she worked beautifully at McDonald's. It turned out it was a lie. Will you admit it? Will you admit it, I said. And they said, oh, yeah, we'll admit they never did. They don't want to. They're protecting her. I don't know why. I mean, she wants open borders. She wants Pennsylvania, zero. You know what's going to happen? They'll never be fracking in Pennsylvania. They're going to take away your guns. You saw that. They're going to take away your guns. She's going to take away your guns. Would anybody like to give up their gun? Would anybody like to voluntarily, with great liberal fanfare, say, I'd like to give up my weapon so that I can be shot in my house? But she's clearly not well. Take a look at these videos. Look at this real fast.
And being a bitch. Turn that off. Okay, we got to get to some business. We got to get to some business. Okay, thank you all. Okay. Thank you, 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 please, thank you, please, thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, let's get to business. Let's get to business.
She said thank you 38 times. And at the end, it was, thank you, thank you, thank you. I said, what the hell's, what's wrong with her? I say thank you, and you wait a couple of seconds. You say thank you again. You say, come on, let's get going. Thank you one more time. She's 38 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's something wrong with her, okay? Or she would say, she's weird. She's weird. You know, that was another soundbite they made up about JD and myself. No, we're solid people. We're very solid. We're very solid people. We're not weird. They're weird. How about the vice president? How about the vice president? Now, he's weird. Despite all of these flagrant lies and the many other hoaxes she spread, The fake news moderators did not check her out. They didn't check what Comrade Kamala Harris, they didn't, do you see the lies that she was making up? Project 2025, I've said 100 times, I know nothing about it. I had nothing to do. She goes out with a commercial, I support this, I support that, I support 25, all lies. And lies that she knows are lies that have been debunked, as they say in the crazy news organization. Hey, that's a lot of press we have back there. That's a lot of fake news. That's a lot of fake news. Meanwhile, every time they interfered to fact check me, it turned out that they were wrong and Trump was right. For example, a big one, I said that crime was up massively. I didn't want to go into the details. What's the purpose? Crime was up massively. And David Muir, you know, he's another one who doesn't have a clue, you know? And his hair was much better 5 years ago, I can tell you. But David Muir barged in to claim that, sir, crime was down. And he said, quote, President Trump, as you know, the FBI, says overall violent crime is coming down in this country. Now, you don't have to see this. You see what the hell is happening with crime? Who would say it was down, even if, without looking? So he reprimanded me for saying that crime was up. And you know, somebody in our government at a very high level likes me, and they released the real numbers. It said, yet in breaking news, just yesterday night, the premier statistical agency at the Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Statistics, released brand new data showing that since Kamala Harris took office, violent crime nationwide is up 40%, rape is up 42%, car theft is up 42%, robberies are up 67%, aggravated assaults are up much more than 55%, and violent crime with a weapon is up 56%. Violent attacks on strangers, I never heard of that one, is up 61+%. So David Muir owes me an apology. Do you agree? She lies about everything, just like she lied about jobs. They said they had 818,000 jobs, and it was a fraud. They didn't. They just wanted to pad the numbers before the election. But fortunately, we had a leaker or a whistleblower. I don't care which. I love that person. I'm not sure who it is. And that person said that it was a total fraud. They wanted to announce the correction. They were going to do a correction right after the election. They were going to do it on the 10th of November. They just wanted to get by the election. So they fraudulently added 818,000 jobs. Isn't that unbelievable? And they announced, and yesterday they announced, yes, it was a slip up, 818,000. Because their job numbers were looking like, you know, where the hell did all those jobs come from? You know where they came from? Somebody's sick brain, that's where they came from. Under Kamala Harris and the communist left, our country is under invasion. We are under invasion just like it was an army. Except in many ways it's more difficult because they don't wear a uniform. You don't know who the hell to go after. Millions and millions of illegal aliens are coming in from all over the world, from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and many terrorists at numbers that we've never seen before. Terrorists are coming into our country. If you look at 2019, and I disagree with this, really, even though it's good for me, they said in the year 2019, not one terrorist, there's an official definition of that, but you don't want to hear it. Not one terrorist came in, that was my year, 2019, one of my years. Not one terrorist came into a country. Now, I sort of can't believe that, but But it was pretty close. It was pretty close. And now we have thousands and thousands and thousands of terrorists coming into our country. They're coming in like from parts unknown. This will not end well unless Donald J. Trump is elected the 47th president of the United States. Right? Not going to end well. Right? Because I am your border president. From now on, I want to be your border president. You know, I did a great job in 2016 on the border, and we solved the problem very, very quickly. A beautiful job. And in 2020, when I got millions of more votes than I did in 2016, by the way, we did much better in 2020. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. But my people would say, sir, they don't want to hear about the border. I said, I want to talk about it. I did a great job. They don't care. You've solved the border. It was solved. It was beautiful. The difference is that this border crisis is 20 times worse than it was in 2016. But I'll get it solved. I'll get it solved fast, and we'll get back to making our country strong again. And I only want to be addressed no longer as Mr. President, Mr. Border President, sir. Because we got to get this border fixed. We got people coming in that have never even dreamed about being in this country. And they're coming in totally unchecked. Nobody has any idea where the hell they come from. Kamala would be the president of invasion, and I will be the president of making this country stronger, better, more beautiful, bigger, more powerful, wealthier, safer than ever before. I will protect our country. She will surrender our country. She has already let in 21 million people. And if she gets 4 more years in America, our country will be obliterated. The 21 million people will be hundreds of millions of people will come in from all over the world, which is where they're coming from now. You'll have 150 million more people. You won't have a country anymore. You're pretty close to not having one. You better hope I get elected. You better go out. You'll have a country back soon. You'll have your country back soon. Not only is Harris, do you ever notice when you say Harris, nobody knows who the hell you're talking about? You ever? No, nobody has any idea. Harris. Hey, where's Harris? They know Kamala. They know Kambabla. That was the nickname I used for a while, but I don't use it anymore because everyone thought I was just mispronouncing her name. I wasn't. Kambabla. But no, Comrade is the best because it says she's a Marxist, communist, fascist person, she's a fascist. Who the hell ever thought would be voting for a communist for president? She is. Look at her record. Do you know that she wanted to have transgender surgery on illegal aliens that came into our country that were in jail? Can you believe it? She wanted. Did anyone know that? I would say that's quite a liberal thing to do, don't you think? Where the hell did she come from? Honestly, I am not a big fan of Crooked Joe, but he would have been better than her. He really would have been. They didn't want her. She was the last one on the list. You know, they had 22 people they were looking at. And the people voted. She was the last one on the list, and I'm running against her. It should be a good thing. Look, based on, that's sort of like a poll. It should be a good thing. But it's so unfair to our country. And it's unfair to Crooked Joe, you know? I feel badly. Does anybody feel badly for Joe? No? He was the worst president in the history of our country. She is the worst vice president in the history of our country. And the only good thing, he's an old man now, and I'm sure he's watching right now, but Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, His administration looks totally brilliant by comparison. So he no longer has to go down as the worst president because this group, you know, I used to say, and I used to say it a lot, but if you took the 10 worst presidents or administrations, but 10 worst presidents in the history of our country and added them up, they would not have done the damage that this one presidency has done to our country. What's happened to our country, we're a laughing stock all over the world. You think President Xi is enjoying it? But he won't be enjoying it for long. Not only is Kamala allowing millions of illegal aliens to stampede across our border, but she is flying them in from other countries. You know, when she said a couple of months ago they put on some extra little brakes to make their numbers look a little bit better, but they forgot to tell you that they're flying in hundreds of thousands of people right over the border. And I was with the Art Del Cudo, I was with the people from Border Patrol today, and they said, no, those numbers don't register. In other words, they don't count when they fly them in. They're flying them in beautiful jet planes. They're flying them to Idaho potatoes. I don't think they want them. They're flying them to Iowa. They're flying them all over. You know, now we have only border states, okay? Who would believe this? You know, they're saying, no, we want to stop them. But they're flying them in by the tens of thousands. On big, beautiful jet airplanes, they're flying them in. These people are sick, and they're destroying our country. You got to get out and vote, and make sure they're not cheating. Make sure your vote counts. Over the past 3.5 years, Harris and Biden have resettled 500,000 illegal migrants from Haiti, including over 200,000 that she has flown into the United States by very beautiful airplanes. I'd like to have one so nice. And deposit them into American communities all over the country. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal reported yesterday, quote, a Venezuelan gang is expanding its deadly reach into the United States. They've become real estate developers like I used to be. They're taking over apartment houses in Colorado. The story begins, U.S. law enforcement officials have watched with alarm the spread of Venezuela gangs known as dismembering rivals. They're dismembering rivals from Chile and from Colombia. They're dismembering. You know what that means? Cutting them up. They're cutting them up. How the hell did we allow this to happen to our country? Likewise, the New York Times, or as I call it, the failing New York Times, it's a failing paper. The Washington Post is a failing paper. Will you fail already? Just get out. They're such phonies. If the New York Times writes a story about you, just go the opposite. If you go the exact opposite, it'll be very accurate. The failing New York Times today reports this vicious Venezuela prison gang is, quote, it sneaked into the United States among the millions of migrants who have crossed the border and is peddling drugs, guns, and women across the 50 states from urban centers like New York and Chicago to Florida beaches and once tranquil middle America in Colorado. The gang even got a green light to shoot the cops. They were given an okay to shoot the cops. How about that? I just met a lot of great policemen backstage and policewomen backstage. That's not acceptable. But they were given an okay. When I return to the White House, I will launch a special task force of elite federal law enforcement and charge them with crushing and eliminating every foreign gang and organized crime network that is conquering our country. They're conquering our country. We will deploy ICE, DHS, and other federal officials to go in and liberate Aurora. Can you believe I'm saying this? Can you believe I have to say this? We are going to liberate parts of our country. Let's go back another 300 years. We are going to liberate our country. Did you ever think I would be standing here? It's a hell of a way to get elected. The only good thing about what they're doing is it's great for the guy that happens to be running against these idiots, okay? It's the only thing. That's the only benefit. That's the only benefit I can see, is running against them is a very good thing. But last week, a high school girl in Virginia was walking to the bus stop when an illegal alien from Kamala Harris, caught and released into the United States and let go by her, drove up behind her pretending to be a police officer. He said, "I'm a police officer." He wasn't. The predator got out, grabbed her, and forced her into his car. She had to escape by throwing herself out of a moving vehicle, believing she would be raped or murdered. She was very badly hurt. Also this month, an illegal alien who entered our country through Kamala's phone app. Could you believe? We have phone apps. You know where they go to? The cartels. The cartels have apps where they call in so they know where to deposit their illegal people, and they're making billions. They'll be in the Forbes 400 along with your friend, me. I'll say, "I don't believe it. This guy, he doesn't speak English. He can't read or write, and he's worth $10 billion. That tells you something, doesn't it? If they put all of these people into the Forbes 400, used to be a big list. I don't know if it's a big list. I think Forbes is failing pretty badly now. I haven't heard about it in a long time, but they occupy a large section of the list. But they have an app where they call so they know where they can illegally drop these people. An illegal alien who entered our country through Kamala's phone app was doing things that nobody believed. He was arrested for the murder of a 25-year-old woman in Tennessee, and in August, an illegal alien from Honduras, a beautiful place, who was previously deported under the Trump administration, was arrested for stabbing a young, beautiful 14-year-old girl with a butcher knife as she watched her brother's baseball game. He was just doing a horrible thing. Who would like to hear The Snake? Because I have nothing but time tonight. Got a lot of time. They love The Snake. You know why? It's something that's highly accurate. It was a song many years ago, and we reworked it a little bit, and it became something that people like. But it's very accurate in terms of what it represents for this country, and very sad, too, I will tell you. So let's go. You ready? On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried. "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," cried the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hugged and kissed him brightly. The work that night had gone. She found the pretty snake she had taken in had been revived. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," cried that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she sighed. "But if I hadn't taken you in by now, you truly would have died." She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, "Thank you, ma'am," the snake gave her a vicious bite. Surprise. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Shut up, silly woman," sighed the reptile with a grin. "You know damn well I was a snake before you took me in." And that's the end of the story. And I had to do that sucker by memory because there's no light up here. As much light, I'm dark. It's like dark. I had two problems. It's dark, and the print on that thing is so light you couldn't read it, so I did the best I could, but not bad, right? I couldn't see, Michael, I couldn't see a frickin' word. I said, I have an idea, let's do this snake. And then I take it out, I say, oh my God, that's a very light print. Oh my God, there's no light. Between the light and the print, I'm saying, what the hell am I doing this for? But it wasn't bad, and you get the point. When I'm a president, and when I become your president, when we're going to all work together, we're going to make it happen. We will get the illegal alien murderers, rapists, and child predators the hell out of our country, and we will not ever, ever, ever let them back in. So Nevada, get out and vote. We win this state, we're going to win the whole thing. We win this, we're going to win the whole thing. If we win this state, we win everything. And the people of Nevada also need to get out and vote for some really great people. And you have to vote against a really terrible, radical left senator named Jackie Rosen. She does a terrible job. We have running a man of the border, and I'm going to introduce you to him, but Jackie Rosen has voted with crooked Joe Biden nearly 100% of the time. She voted for every single inflation-causing spending bill, and she also voted for Joe Biden's open borders bill to set a minimum of 2 million illegal aliens per year. So can you imagine? They said this was a good bill, and that doesn't include the fly-ins, and it doesn't include all of the other people that get in. They come in through places that we wouldn't even believe. They go through Snake Mountain. Running against Wacky Jackie is an American hero named Sam Brown. Sam Brown. His wife is fantastic, also Amy. But Sam Brown has given up more than anybody who has ever run for the United States Senate. Remember that. He's given up more. He's given up more than anybody who's ever run for the United States Senate. He's a hero, too, a real brave person. Sam is a fearless patriot and Purple Heart recipient who served our country as a U.S. Army captain, totally respected in Afghanistan, where he was very severely wounded. But Sam survived, he persevered, he came back, he's stronger than ever. He's a great guy. I've gotten to know him well. He's a great guy. And I said to him tonight, Sam, I'm going to be the border president. You should be the border senator. And he said, I am. I actually am, because he believes us. And he is the border. Think of him. When you vote, he's going to close up the border. She wants to leave your border open. He became a small businessman and a leader here in Nevada. And now he's going to fight for this state like nobody has ever fought before. Sam Brown will vote to secure our border, stop inflation, strengthen our military, defend religious liberty, and cut taxes like you have never heard. Because Sam Brown thinks of one thing and one thing alone. It's called America First. That's what he wants, and he told me that. And he's an incredible guy. And I want you to remember this, because look, I'll be back a few more times before the day, 53 days now. But I want you to remember this with Sam. He truly has. He's given up so much. Nobody's given up like he's given up. So much. And he wants to do this because he loves our country. He fought for our country. Nobody's given up like he's given up so much. And Sam, I'd love to have you come up and say a few words, please. Sam Brown.
Nevada, we need the border president back. Because not only has Kamala Harris, as the borders are, failed America, but Jackie Rosen has failed America. She sits on the Homeland Security Committee. I know a little something about leadership. And leadership requires us to do the harder right rather than the easier wrong. And when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have asked Jackie Rosen to be quiet and to vote and support their policies against the better judgment and what is good for this country and this state, she has been a follower and not a leader. And I will be that leader. I tell you, I want to speak to you for a moment as a father. Amy and I have 3 children, school-age children. The crisis on the border. There has been over 320,000 unaccompanied children who have come into our country that this administration has lost accountability of. In the military, when you lose accountability, you are fired. We must, for the sake of these children. We must, for the sake of our communities. We must, for the sovereignty of this nation, secure our border, confront the cartel, and make America great again. Now, with respect, President Trump, 16 years ago, an enemy tried to take my life. Sir, I know what a warrior is. I know what it looks like when someone comes under fire and defiantly stands up in the face of that enemy and says, it is time to fight. Fight! Fight! I will fight for this country, both as a father and as a warrior. And I have seen a warrior's spirit in you that I have only ever seen on the battlefield, and I know that you have had the responsibility President Trump, you have had the sacred responsibility and honor of giving the highest awards our nation can give to people. And I just want to, as a token of appreciation from me, as someone who has been wounded for this country, just like you, to give you the thing that I can only offer out of my own heart and love for this country, appreciation and admiration for your leadership, my story that I hope inspires many to be a warrior like you. And here it is, a live day. Nevada, I've got you. We will be victorious in November, and President Trump will be the border president, and I will be the border senator. Let's win.
That was great. I tell you, you got to vote for him. You got to vote for him. Nobody's been through what he's been through. Nobody, ever, what he's been through. And he wants to put his life on the line again, and he wants to do it for you, and he's going to do it. And he's your border senator. He's going to be great. And she's the exact opposite. She's your open border. And you don't want open borders. You've had millions of people come in right here. They're coming in here more than any place else now because Texas has closed it up pretty well, but they've done nothing here. You got to get it. You got to get them in. I also want to thank you, Governor Joe Lombardo has been fantastic to us. He's been great. And he's right now out in the wildfires in western Nevada, which are really taking a toll. But Joe's been great, and our prayers go out to every Nevada family, that every one of them that's been forced to evacuate due to these raging fires. They're raging. And we love you all. And Governor, we thank you very much. He's done a fantastic job. And another man who's doing a fantastic job, Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony. Stavros, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stavros. Thank you. Good man. Candidate for the 4th Congressional District, John Lee. John? John Lee. Good, John. I heard you're doing well. Good. Get out and vote. I heard you're doing really good. Candidate for the 3rd Congressional District, Drew Johnson. Good, Drew. Great honor to endorse you guys. I endorse them. Nevada GOP chairman, somebody that works like hell. He wants this so badly. He's never wanted anything so badly, other than his family, of course. Michael McDonald, great guy. We gonna win it, Michael? Gonna win it? I think so. We do have a good lead, but we gotta be careful, because remember, they cheat like hell. It's the only thing they're good at. A man who's a friend of mine who writes the nicest things about me. And really a celebrity and just a great guy, Wayne Allen Root. Good man. A good man. And a brilliant young man who has always been with me no matter what. The good times, the bad times. You see him on television a lot. He's always talking about the border. It's a passion because he knows our country is being destroyed. Stephen Miller. He's here someplace. He's a great guy. Knows more about illegal immigration, I think, than anybody in history. He knows it, and he gets it. A man who's also been with me just about from the beginning. He's tough, he's smart, he loves our country, and he is a warrior, Kash Patel. Thank you, Kash. And Rick Harrison, where's Rick? Rick Harrison. Rick. Thank you, Rick. Thank you very much. We have another person here. I said, you have to get up there because he's, you know, I love warriors, and this guy is really a warrior. Do not fight him under any circumstances. He won the Olympic gold medal, and he's the UFC and was the UFC champion numerous times, actually. And I wonder if I could take him. I'm a little larger than him. I wonder if I could take him in a fight. What do you think? You with the big hat. Could I take him in a fight? Henry, you know who I'm talking about? Henry Cenuno. Henry Cenuno. Come here. Come here. Henry Cenuno. Now, who thinks I can take Henry in a fight? I've got a little height on him, but he's got everything else. Come here. We love you, man. This guy is a winner. Here, say something.
Yeah, well, Mr. President, I'm just honored, and I think I would have just bent the knee. I would never fight you for what you do for our country, and the fact that you were willing to risk your life, which you have no reason to do this, but you're doing this for the people. It means a lot. And as I told you before, President, I love this country so much, Mr. President, that I named my daughter America. And I appreciate what you've done, and I appreciate what you're doing, and you know, let's continue to keep making America great again.
And he's got good hair, too. Look at that hair. Got no hair problem, right, Henry? None. Yeah, he's a great guy. Gold medal winner. Latin music superstar, Nicky Jam. Do you know Nicky? She's hot. Where's Nicky? Where's Nicky? Thank you, Nicky. Great to be having you here. Now you have to get, oh, look. Come here. Come here. I'm glad he came up.
It's an honor to me to meet you, Mr. President. People that come from where I come from, they don't meet the president, so I'm lucky. I'm gonna say this, but we need you. We need you back, right? We need you to be the president. And apart from that, I gotta say this in Spanish. Han pasado 4 años y no ha pasado nada. Necesitamos a Trump. Let's make America great again.
And you know, we have all different kinds of stars than we did 10 years ago and 20 years ago. It used to be a little simpler. Now it's a whole different world, but the numbers they get are incredible. Bryce Hall is here, one of the biggest. Bryce, where's Bryce? Bryce Hall. Where are you, Bryce? Stand up, Bryce. Come on up here, Bryce. Get up here. Come on. What the hell? We have to have Bryce. You know, he does an interview with people. Come on up if you want, Bryce. Come on. What the hell? We have a lot of time, right? Come on, Bryce. Look how young he is, how handsome he is. Come on up, Bryce. This guy has 44 million people watching him. And he's great. He's a great guy.
We need Trump back, really bad. Make America great again.
And you know, a while ago, a couple of years ago, a legend named Dana White called me. He said, would you do me a big favor? Would you do an interview with some guys, young guys? Who are they? He said, the Nelk Boys, the Nelk Boys. And I said, who the hell are they? I don't know. And I agreed to do it. And they were great. And the interview was aired. And we had like 200 million people. I said, who the hell are these guys? And now everybody knows who they are. The Nelk Boys, where are you guys? Where are you? You here someplace? Thank you, fellas. You want to come up? If you want, come up. Come up. Come on, get up here. Get up here. And while they're coming up, I want to introduce somebody that's been incredible. She was a very popular politician. Now she's a very popular, period. She was the Democrat presidential candidate. She knocked the hell out of somebody named Comrade. You know that. Tulsi Gabbard is here, and her husband is here, Abraham. Thank you, Tulsi. Thank you very much, Tulsi.
We need Trump back, and we need him back bad. One more thing I know that's passionate about, Governor Tim Walz, he put a 95% tax on Zinn. We got to get that removed, President Trump.
Trump 2024, that's it. Let's fucking go.
These are young guys, but they have plenty of cash, I can tell you that. And they're great people. So Comrade Kamala Harris is the most radical liberal nominee ever to seek the Oval Office. And you know, it's just pointed out, and the real number is 325,000 migrant children are lost. They're being raped or they're being killed. A lot of them are no longer with us. They lost it during the last 3 years. 325,000 children, young children, think of it, never to see their parents again. They're either gone or they're in the service as slaves, sex slaves or slaves. And I just think it's terrible. You know, they talk about us like we're evil people. They lost 325,000 young kids. Think of what that means. Think of what that means. As Vice President Harris cast the tie-breaking votes that caused the worst inflation in American history, costing us and the typical family, $28,000. Think of that, $28,000. With me, it was the opposite, the exact opposite. Days ago, it was announced that we lost 438,000 full-time jobs in August. That's a record. We lost almost 500,000 jobs in August. You know, they like to go around saying how well they're doing. They're doing terribly. Inflation makes everything bad anyway. They had the highest ever. We lost 24,000 manufacturing jobs and nearly 6,000 auto manufacturing jobs. And I'll tell you what, the United Auto Workers, those guys are going to vote for me. Those guys and gals, they're going to vote for me. They're going to vote for me because the auto industry is moving to Mexico, it's moving to China, and it's moving to other parts of the world, but not the United States. China's building 2 massive auto plants in Mexico now, and they think they're going to build cars and put them into our country. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They've got authorization from Biden. You know why? Because they gave him a lot of cash. That's why. And nobody talks about it. Last month alone, American-born workers lost 1.3 million jobs as migrants gained 635,000 jobs in a single month. You know, the jobs, almost every single job was taken by a migrant worker. And black workers are losing their jobs to these people that are pouring into our country, and Hispanics are losing their jobs. And next will be unions. Unions are going to be losing all of their power, all of their clout. But the black worker and the black family, they're losing their jobs. Hispanics are losing their jobs to people that pour into our country illegally. Now Kamala is pushing the largest individual and small business tax increase in American history. And she said that a 70 to 80% tax rate is something that's very, very doable. It's a bold idea, she said, and it must be discussed. Now, she changed that a little bit, but with a politician, they always go back to their original thought. Harris and Biden waged war on American energy, opened up the Russian pipeline, Nord Stream 2, that I had closed, but shut down the Keystone XL pipeline that I had opened. She re-entered the horribly unfair to the United States, U.S. Paris Climate Accord. I wanted to be the Nevada Climate Accord, not the Paris. It's the most unfair document you've ever seen. And she has always said, I will ban fracking. And she has always said, I will defund the police. Anybody, you know, she was the head of the defund the police movement. Anybody that was with that scam for even a week is not fit to serve as the President of the United States. As California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person. These are categories, all categories, horrible categories, but she redefined them as, in all cases, non-violent crimes. Kamala supports states being able to take minor children and perform sex change operations on them without their parents' consent. Did you know that? Did you know that? Now she'll say, oh, no, I never said that, but we can put up the tapes anytime you want. I don't even want to show them. They're so disgusting, I don't want to show them. Despite the false fact check by the fake moderators, those guys at ABC Fake News, in the debate this week, her running mate, Tampon Tim, who put tampons in young boys' bathrooms. He even signed a law that allows abortion in the 9th month. He says abortion in the 9th month and babies to be executed after birth. And that's right. And it's happened numerous times in the states and other states too. There are radical left states that allow that. Nobody wants to talk about it, but they allow that. Execution after birth. But from the moment we take back the White House from Comrade Kamala Harris, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Starting on day 1, I will seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. We will carry out the largest deportation operation of criminals in American history. We will defeat inflation quickly, and we will make America affordable again. We're getting your prices way down. We will make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. You know, I already had it above Russia and Saudi Arabia. Then we had a terrible result in a horrible election, an election where I got, remember, more votes than any sitting president ever by far, by millions. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any country in the world. Think of it. We are standing on more liquid gold under our feet than any country in the world, and we're going to use it. In 12 months, I will cut your energy costs in half, and that includes heating, air conditioning, electricity, and gasoline for your car. Right? As part of our efforts to increase housing affordability, I will work with your governor to open up new tracts of federal land for large-scale housing construction, and you'll get it for a much lower price. More than 80% of all land in Nevada is owned by the federal government. Governor Lombardo has sent 3 letters to the Biden-Harris administration asking them to open up some of this land to help alleviate the crisis, but Kamala and Crooked Joe did not even have the decency to reply to those requests. Under the Trump administration, the pleas of Nevada will be ignored no longer. We're going to open it up. We'll start with a small portion. You'll get it going, and then we're going to open up large portions of land. We will create special new zones with ultra-low taxes and ultra-low regulations to allow the development of really extraordinary new housing at a proper price, while also bringing jobs and industries to Nevada, like the movie industry, the technology industry, and the massive manufacturing plants from foreign nations will be coming into your state, and that means jobs. And if I pull this off with the help of your governor, a lot of Hollywood will be moving from California, because right now you don't have the land, because you don't have the land. It's owned by the federal government. We're going to open up that land to you. You'll be able to build studio lots and everything else. Millions and millions of Americans will be able to take part in building these clean, safe, and beautiful new communities, reviving the frontier spirit and the American dream, something you don't hear much about anymore. It's going to be done right here in Nevada. Next, I will turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower more than it has ever been before. We're going to bring back the car industry, too. We're going to bring back the car industry. And we're not going to let China and Mexico sell cars into the United States that are going to just take back our jobs. They're going to have to pay 100%, maybe a 200% tariff, because we don't want those cars. We want to make our own cars in our country. We'll do it better than them. Other countries that make us pay a tax to do business with them will be charged the same tax when they send their product into the United States. It will be called the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. In other words, if China or any other country charges us a 100, 200, or 300% tax, which they actually charge, then we will charge them a 100, 200, or 300% tax in return. Right now, we charge them nothing. My message is simple. Make your product here in America and only in America. That's what we want. My plan is that if you open your factory in Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, or anywhere else in the United States, you don't pay a tariff. You don't have to pay anything. All you have to do is pay the workers, and the workers are going to be you. But if you move your production outside of the United States and send it back here, you will have to pay a massive tariff, and we don't even want your product even if you pay it. We are going to very quickly supercharge our country, and when I'm back in that beautiful White House, we will pass larger tax cuts for workers, and we have a special tax that here is going to do, I think, quite well. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. No tax on tips. Did you see when I announced that a long time ago, all of a sudden she announced it, and she was met with rebuke. And you know, they can't do it anyway because they have so much legislation in that makes sure that you pay your tax on tips. And it didn't go over too well, but we are going to do it. We'll get it done fast. You know, they said they were going to cut the school lending when you borrow money to go to school. They were going to cut it. They were going to cut it down to nothing. Guess what? A big thud. Never happened. It never happened. You know why? Because they're all talk and no action. And you saw that the other night at the debate. She was all talk. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to cut tax, and then I'm going to give you $25,000 for a house, and then I'm going to go, you know, over and over. And I said very simply at the end of my last little statement, why haven't you done it? You've been there for 3.5 years. Why haven't you done it? Right, Michael? Why haven't you done it, Michael? Right, Michael? Why haven't they done it? I said, we will leave this debate stage, which is just a waste of time anyway. I will go with you to Washington, and you can announce the closure of the border. You know, she doesn't need a bill. I didn't have a bill. I said, we're closing the border. We closed the border. And we had the greatest chart of all time. You want to put up that chart if you can find it, the border chart, my all-time favorite in the history of charts. Yeah, I love that chart. I'm going to sleep with that chart. That chart saved my life. Can you believe it? Just like that. I said, put up the chart. And I went like that to look at it. Ping. That chart, think of it, illegal immigration saved my life. See that? That is the most beautiful document I've ever seen. But you see the arrow on the bottom? That's when I left office. That's the lowest point in the history of our country for illegal immigrants to come in, but also drugs and everything else that was coming in bad. That point is the lowest, and then as soon as they took over, look, it became a rocket ship. Look at that, like a rocket ship, and our country was destroyed. We had it under control. That's the lowest point in the history. That was done by Border Patrol, that chart. But regardless of the numbers, I love that chart. I'm sorry. Additionally, I will fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, no cuts. And we will have no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. No tax on Social Security. And then we wheeled out a great one, and I actually think this is going to be fantastic for the country as well as the worker, because a lot of people are going to be working overtime. And just yesterday I announced that there will be no taxes on overtime. No taxes on overtime. We will terminate the Green New Scam. I call it the Green New Scam, Green New Deal, Green New Scam. It's the greatest scam. You know what they're going to spend? $97 trillion. Where are they going to get that money? That's more money than every country in the world has. It's a scam. They were going to spend $97 trillion. And you know, the time is coming up. Remember, they said we only have 12 years to live because the environment is going to kill us, right? That time is very close. Somehow I'm not worried. I am worried about nuclear because, to be honest with you, we have incompetent people dealing on it. You're going to end up in World War III. You're going to have a nuclear holocaust if we're not careful. These people have no idea. Our people have no idea what they're doing. And I will keep you out of World War III. I'm the only one that's going to be able to do it. But we're going to spend all of that Green New Scam money on roads and bridges and real infrastructure and paying down debt. We're going to pay down debt. And you know, we're going to have growth like this country has never seen before. We're going to get that debt way down. We're going to get your interest rates way down so you can buy the house. You can have the American dream. I had interest rates at 2%, and now they're 10%, and you can't get the money. You can't pay the money anyway, too expensive, but you can't get the money. We're not going to have fake infrastructure that's caused massive inflation. You know, the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a fake deal, they actually said about 6 months ago they never expected it to do anything for inflation. It was a scam to get more money for the environment. So listen to this, very important, I think. You haven't heard the word environment in 7 months. You know why? It doesn't play. It doesn't play. We want clean air, we want crystal clear water, beautiful water, and we want an unbelievable country, and we want an economy that's better than it's ever been before. The environment isn't playing. They don't mention it anymore. You know, with all the money they spent, wasted on all this nonsense that they did, the apartment, your windows have to be smaller, preferably don't have any windows at all. They showed me a building, an ideal building. I said, what is that? Is it a bunker? No, this is a building. It's a modern building. It had no windows. Let's try selling one of those apartments. You have not small windows, you had no windows. Because it's good, the sunlight doesn't go through, okay? Look, she's laughing. That's crazy, isn't it? I don't know if you're laughing or crying. I'm sort of crying about it. It's crazy. These people are crazy. We want a new building, and they want to knock down all those beautiful buildings in Manhattan and rebuild them with no windows. We don't want one building in Manhattan. I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will settle the war in Ukraine as president-elect. And remember this, a vote for Comrade Kamala Harris is a vote for war with Russia. Would anybody like to be in war with Russia? If necessary, we would. We're not, you know, but preferably not, right? Don't you think? It's also a vote to bring back the draft. Would anybody like to be drafted in the audience? Because that's what they're doing. She's already talking about bringing back the draft. She wants to bring back the draft and draft your child and put them in a war that should never have happened. Remember, Russia would have never attacked Ukraine, ever, and didn't for 4 years. And remember this, when Bush was president, he gave up a lot to Russia. When Barack Hussein Obama was president, gave up a lot to Russia. When Biden was president, going to give up the whole thing to Russia, it looks like. But when Trump was president, he gave up nothing to Russia, zero. I gave up nothing. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. And a vote for Comrade Kamala Harris is a vote to obliterate Israel and fast. Israel is going to be blown off the face of the earth if she becomes the president of the United States. I hate to say it. I've always backed Israel. They will not have a chance if she went to a party instead when your prime minister came to the United States and spoke before Congress, which is a big event. She went to a sorority party instead. She found that more important. Ready? Israel will be blown off the face of the earth. It will not exist if she becomes president of the United States. If I become president of the United States, it will go on to glory. But if she becomes president, it will be obliterated. Just remember I said it. A vote for President Donald J. Trump is a vote for prosperity and peace. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., which is a mess, with graffiti all over our beautiful marble buildings, with roads that have potholes all over and medians that are falling down into the gutter. We're going to make those cities safe, clean, and beautiful again. And we will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. We're losing it fast. Nobody else will be able to do that. We're already missing so many. Russia's gone. China essentially is gone. China's the one that wants to take it. North Korea's gone. They're all getting out. But with me, it's different. I'm going to say, you know what? You want to get out? Yes, we decided to get out. We're going to go with Russia. We're going to go with China. I said, that's okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a 250% tariff on anything you sell us in this country. And you know what they're going to do? Sir, we've decided that we want to stay in your currency, sir. We're going to stay in your currency. It won't happen. It won't happen. Just like Mexico gave us all those soldiers at our border. Everyone said, you could never get that. I got it. 28,000 soldiers, Cash, right? We got 28,000 soldiers to protect our border while we were building the wall. And we got a lot of other things, too. I could go over them. I could speak all night long about what we got. What we're going to get is the greatest country in the history of the world. We're going to bring it back. And just in closing, this is how we will end the era of inflation, mayhem, and misery under Kamala and Crooked Joe, and unleash safety, prosperity, and peace for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Together, we will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, and low inflation so that everyone can afford groceries, a car, and a home. Very simple, isn't it? I saw the other night on television a woman went up to the grocery store and put on the counter 3 apples, and then she realized she didn't have enough money for that, and she took one of the apples back. I said, that should never happen in our country. We're not going to let it happen in our country while other people get rich and while illegal migrants are staying in luxury hotels. And our soldiers, our vets, are sleeping on the streets at the base of those hotels, and they're up in luxury rooms, and they came into our country illegally. And many of them are very bad people. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime, support our police, strengthen our military, build a missile defense shield, and a lot of it is going to be built in Nevada. We will keep critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I don't know if you saw the Olympics a couple of weeks ago. A beautiful young Italian boxer, female boxer, and supposed to be very good. And she was fighting a young gentleman or a young woman. You always have to be careful. You know, your political career could end immediately with the wrong statement. So I'll say one of each. But she was fighting a person who was a man and transitioned into womanhood. And he looked like if Muhammad Ali in his prime saw him, Muhammad would be afraid. And the fight began, and they're standing. Henry would know this better than anybody, but they were standing up, and a left jab is just sort of defense, left jab, left jab. And he hit her with a left jab, and she was, oh my, what? She got hit like a horse. She said, somebody hit me, it was a horse. And then she said, I'll try it again. And she went up, and he hit her again with just a left jab. And she said, nope, I'm not going to do it. He ended up winning the gold medal. Went through the boxers like nothing. There were 2 people in women's boxing that transitioned. Both of them happened to win a gold medal. Are you surprised? Are you surprised by that? Are you surprised? No, I'm not either, right? I'm not surprised. We will defend the Second Amendment, restore free speech, and we will secure our elections. We're going to have to secure our elections because they cheat so badly. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day we will be filled, you know the word they used, with joy. So I'm not going to use that word if you don't mind. But opportunity and hope, we're going to be filled with ambition. We're going to go out and love getting up every morning and going to work and making a lot of money. But for that to happen, we must defeat Comrade Kamala Harris, a radical left lunatic. And we must stop her country-destroying liberal agenda once and for all. If they get in, we're never going to be able to turn this country around. It's going to be Venezuela on steroids. You're never going to be able to do it. So get everyone you know to vote. We want a landslide that is too big to rig, too big to rig. On November 5th, we will save our economy. We will rescue our middle class. We will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders like they have not been restored in a long time. We will put America first, and we will take back our country. Together we will make America powerful again. Make America wealthy again. Make America healthy again. Make America strong again. Make America proud again. Make America safe again. Make America free again. We will make America great again. Thank you very much, Nevada. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Get out and vote. God bless you.